Hope everyone can see my screen. Hello?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, okay. Hello everyone. First of all, I thank everyone for attending. Special thanks to lecturers of university and all the students. They have been participating on this series of webinar. Today is our seventh and last webinar for the students, and I hope you have been enjoying it so far. Uh, um, so, engineering does various electrical products, but here we are telling about iPower EV chargers. Okay, so main reason we bought this topic because now whole world is moving towards the electric vehicles, as you know, and because of most of you have you here are electrical engineers, so you can have a very good future there. Okay, and in maybe in 2030, car manufacturers stop making the IC car, and after 9 and 10 years, we can say electric vehicles will be on the road. Okay. So today, myself, Shamal, and Mr. Bobby is going to be talking about the sustainable transport and how does it works. It's pretty much what we're gonna talk about is a little bit about electric vehicles, how they work, and we will also talk about the advantages of electric vehicles. Also, we will talk about the regarding electric vehicle charges, etc. Okay. Uh, and then this is what is today's content. As you know, as you can see, we will talk about, as I mentioned, I will talk about the components, we'll talk about the architecture, we'll talk about the advantages between the electric vehicles and IC vehicles. Okay, so and also we will talk about the various ways of charging, and we'll talk about the case study at the end and so forth. So before I start, let's look at the components of electric vehicles here. And this is how the car you can see on screen. Okay, here is a diagram explaining components of the electric. Here is a car that showing motor, and the motor is here at the bottom in big picture you can see. And the number 2 is the reducer here. You can see this is in the here in electric vehicle. So reducers are like a gearbox which changes the speed to what we require. And the next one is the battery. Here is the big picture of battery you can see. But the battery is located here on electric vehicle. Okay. And the next item is onboard charger. Onboard charger. This is how the onboard charger looks. And then electric control unit is on number 5, you can see here. And on the right side, on the top corner, you can see various components labeled about the electric vehicle. Hello?
Sorry, there was some
Yeah.
noise.
Okay. Yeah. Then here is the another example of electric motor. Okay, so can you see over here on the top red part is a motor, and the inverter which is actually AC motor. Okay, and then we can see that inverter is gonna drive the motor, and AC motors are pretty much used by Tesla, Mahindra, Tata Motors, TVS. You can see here, and in the right hand side you can see the car manufacturer. Some car manufacturers are also using the DC motors like the Goenka electric motors, Stico vehicles, and etc. Now, the question is, what is good for electric vehicles? AC motors or DC motors? I will explain in next slide. Okay. So, here is a slide explaining about the brushless DC motors. How brushless DC motor work? is shown in the right hand side in the picture you can see here. And basically you can see one is the outrunner there and one is a inrunner there. So in outrunner type PLDC motor has a permanent magnet rotor, iron core stator winding, high maintenance due to internal heating, and it's don't produce a noise. It's a silent. And then in inrunner type brushless DC motor, we can see here the permanent magnet rotor, ironless core stator winding, and it has a less maintenance and it's noisy. And also you can see this is the animation on right hand side, how the permanent magnet inside is running while the outside is stationary. You can see here. And the next is these are the AC motors. Okay, now as I said, some companies also use the AC motors. There is a two types they can use. One is a permanent magnet synchronous motor, and one is the three-phase AC induction motors. So in permanent magnet synchronous motor has performance efficiency is very high. On the right side there is an example you can see. I guess most of you know induction motors are very commonly used in everywhere. It's a very robust motor, and in the left corner you can see there is a induction motor running, and that's how it works. Okay, and also the I think you know about the Tesla cars. Okay, so Tesla also using the induction motor in their car. Specifically in their model S is the best example to prove high performance or capability of induction motors. Okay, and the maintenance of the induction motor is less compared to the other motors, and also it can operate in any environmental conditions, and the efficiency of the motor is very high. You must be study in your university in your semesters. Also, the next slide is there is a different types of electric vehicles as you can see on screen. First is the BEV, which is a battery electric vehicle. Then next is the BEV plus REX, means which is battery electric vehicle plus range extender. So what is range extender? A range extender is a fuel-based auxiliary power unit that extend the range of a battery electric vehicle by driving an electric vehicle's battery. Then in the third, you can see here the FCEV, which is fuel cell electric vehicle. In contrast to other electric vehicles, fuel cell electric vehicle produce the electricity using the fuel cell powered by hydrogen rather than drawing electricity from only a battery. They are more efficient than the conventional internal combustion engine vehicles and produce no tailpipe emissions. They only emit the water vapor and warm air in the environment. Then there is you can see PHEV and HEV, which is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle and hybrid electric vehicle. So what is difference between the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle and hybrid electric vehicle? A hybrid vehicle gets its energy simultaneously from a gasoline engine and an electric motor. A plug-in hybrid won't tap into your gas tank until the battery runs out of power. Instead of the electric motor and the engine working together at the same time, a plug-in hybrid uses its engine as a backup plan. Then next is a lithium-ion battery cell. Okay, over here, as we know, in most of the electric vehicles, they are using lithium-ion batteries, and here is how battery looks. And also the batteries are most expensive component in electric vehicles. So here you can see here is a cell, If cell put together make a battery module, and battery module becomes a battery pack. And on the right hand side you can see the picture of it. Then now there is some benefits of buying an electric vehicles. You must know about that. um, First is the low maintenance cost. Okay, for example, if you buy a car with an IC engine, it will have a more mechanical parts, and therefore will have more complexity and difficulty in maintenance. EVs are easy and cheaper. Electric vehicles are easy and cheaper to maintain because of their simple structure and operation. And the second thing is EVs have no noise of their own. As you can see on the road, electric vehicles don't produce their own noise. So because of there is no engine under the hood, so there is no noise. The electric vehicles are so silent, so manufacturers have to add false sounds in order to make it safe for people. Then the next is the low running cost. For instance, if we look at the Hyundai Kona, it delivers around the 450 kilometers in a single charge, and therefore the running cost come down to even a less than a single rupee per kilometer. You can say that. And obviously no more fuel price hikes. We don't need to, if we have an electric car, then we don't need to bother about the fuel price hikes, right? Then it's a convenient charging at home. So EVs have a major advantage in this case, where you can simply plug in your vehicle at your home for 4 to 5 years, and you are ready to move again without any delay. Yes, your home can be your fuel station if you own electric vehicle. The only disadvantage is that in this case will arise if you forget to plug in your machine your machine someday. And electric vehicles nowadays also come with the fast chargers capabilities, which allows to charge up within 60 minutes. And also it's environment friendly, obviously. uh, Buying an electric vehicle can reduce your carbon footprint because there will be no emissions at all. So electric vehicles are one of the most eco-friendly modes of transport available right now in the market. Then in the next slide, I can tell about the government incentives also. You can see here now Delhi government also want you to buy an electric vehicle, because electric vehicles are the future. The Delhi government has recently introduced a new electric vehicle policy, under which you can get additional benefits up to rupees 1.5 lakhs. Also, I have mentioned there the NSW waives stamp duty on electric vehicles, because we sell our EV chargers in both India and Oceania region. Okay, so NSW waves is NSW government is encouraging people, even though the electric cars are more expensive than IC cars. Hence, there is a lot of incentives are coming to encourage the car manufacturers to encourage the public. Basically, stamp duty means the government tax for who buy the car. Okay, and obviously EVs are the future proof. You can see here the weightage of electric vehicle is more than the IC engine. So electricity is also generated from fossil fuels, but we are renewable sources of energy, which is definitely the future, right? And we have also the solar energy, which are renewable and emissions. In the next slide, these are the different types of connectors. Here you can see every company is using the different connectors, and here are how the plug looks, and each plug they have both AC and DC capabilities. And in the next slide, in that table given that which country is using which type of connectors. You can say here, you can say you can see that Europe is using CCS. CCS means combined charging system. Okay, Europe is using CCS, USA also using CCS, and Japan using both connectors, CCS and CHAdeMO. And China is using GBT. And here you can see that Tesla makes this type of connectors. And you can see how AC connectors look and DC connectors look there. Then this is the output connector. Output connectors. This is the plug with EV car. And in left hand side you can see there is a female connector and this is a male connector. Okay, and in the right hand side you can see there is a pin configuration of connectors. Then next is the charging infrastructure. As you know, on the top there is, okay, and fast charger, you can see in that pyramid the fast charger and price is increased. And on right side you can see fast chargers normally is in highway where people needs to charge very quickly under 30 minutes, and normally these vehicles travel long distance. And this is how the pyramid is. You can see there are slow chargers. Slow chargers normally you will find it in home, and slow chargers are cheaper, and you will find slow chargers are AC chargers, not DC chargers. Then next is the flash charging. Here is an example where flash charging, this is normally used in public transport. Here is the picture you can see. We have seen it being used in bus. Bus will stop at station and very quickly in 20 seconds it will charge. Normally they are super batteries. We can say it's a capacitor there. Also I have one video for you. If I click on that link, I will go there.
So let's understand the flash charging technology now. ABB Power has developed trolley bus optimization, system alimentation, TOSA charging stations to recharge an electric bus battery in just 20 seconds. In the charging time, passengers can get on and off the bus. So let's see how it works now. The electric bus batteries are mounted on the rooftop. Once the bus reaches to TOSA charging station, an automated arm will connect an ultra-fast charger to the energy transfer system on the bus rooftop in 1 second. These chargers having 600 kilowatt of power, which can charge the onboard batteries in 20 seconds. That's why the technology is called as flash charging. The TOSA charging stations are connected with a grid connection along with an energy storage unit. The entire charging process is controlled by traction converters and traction motors which are equipped in the bus. Currently, there are 12 such buses operating in Geneva. For 50 bus stops, 13 are equipped with flash charging stations. These flash charging stations providing emission-free urban transportation. Due to the flash charging, 1,000 tons of CO2 saved on Geneva line per year. Also, the buses having 133 passengers capacity. So, Ashok Leyland along with ABB Tosh flash charging technology will take public e-mobility services to the next level for sure. Once the ultra-fast charging services started in India, pollution levels will be reduced and the trust in EVs will be increased. We can see the flash charging electric buses on Indian roads very soon. Go green, go electric.
So you saw in that video that how buses are buses charged with the help of that flash charging chargers. Okay, and then in the next slide I will explain about the architecture. Here is a car, electric car. Here is a charger, And here you can see the cloud management system. Also, you will get a mobile app for that. Okay, so this is how normally the whole network connected together. For example, if someone wants a charger, let's say they put it in a service station. This is the network showing how things will be connected. You can see there on screen. Then here I have mentioned some of the problems of conductive means the wired electric vehicle charges. You can see there the safety hazard is one of the major issue. However, until we find outcome better solution, which I can talk about. Okay, you can see here's land acquisition. Obviously, we require some space to install the our EV charger, and the switchboard also. And next is the harmful touches due to excessive current. It's a hazard. Also wrong connections. If you connect the wrong connector in your car, so it can damage the connector. Also aesthetic, you can see in that below images, how it looks. It doesn't look nice with the wiring. Okay, so in the next slide, I will explain about the wireless EV charger. Here are some of the wireless EV chargers that I will talk. As I said, a better solution is what? Wireless charging system. Here is an example showing a car getting charged from the wireless wireless charging. So what is wireless charging? It's not a conductive, it's a inductive charging. We can see. In other words, there is a one receiver on the car, and the transmitter will be on the ground on the road, and then charger basically mounted on a anywhere on the wall. That charging box. Basically, it's a electromagnetically charged. Okay, but there is a gap between the that transmitter and receiver, so efficiency is less than the conductive charger. That is around 92 or 93% we can say. But it makes you more convenient, and it gets rid of all problems that I talked in previous slide regarding conductive chargers. Then in the next slide, here are the components that we need for the wireless EV chargers. There is a transmitter. So transmitter will be on the road, will be on the ground, and receiver, you can see there, receiver will be on the electric car, and there is must be communication system. Because you need always communication, you cannot just the charging without any sort of communication. So otherwise you will damage your battery. It's not all about paying, but it's more about how I charge, making sure the battery management system is talking to the charger. Otherwise charger will overcharge the battery, maybe charge it too fast, and maybe it will damage the battery. That can happen. And so now you must be thinking, if I buy a car which is conductive charger, so how should I put wireless charger, or let's say inductive charger? So here are some of the possibilities we can do. It is possible you need to have a licensed, as you can see that you must have utilized license HV automotive technician, and the ground unit, that is transmitter, can be mounted by a licensed general electrician. And also your car should have installation space for the receiver, and also have a connection points, and that's it. Your car will be converted from conductive charger to inductive charger. Also another, maybe you are thinking about that what will happen to the ICE cars when in 2030 all the car manufacturers has decided to stop making ICE cars. What will happen to the existing cars? What if they want to continue? So we have a solution for that also. They can retrofit the ICE car to electric car currently also some companies are working on that. For example, here you can see you have an engine, you have an exhaust system, also fuel tank you have, and in the middle you can see that the car getting retrofitted. And here is a electric motor, controller, battery pack, and inverter. So that existing car now have been retrofitted and have become a electric car. And you must be thinking about why some people want to do this, want to retrofit this. Okay, so normally otherwise they can send the car for recycle, but some people loves old models cars and they want to keep using it. That's why they will retrofit it. Okay, then here I am going to talk about the comparison between electric and gasoline cars. So you can see here, electric car has no emission, that is no tailpipe emission, and there is no smoke going out. While is there is a greenhouse gases uh, from gasoline engine car, or you can say petrol fired cars. Also, there is electric cars. They get energy from utility companies, which could be running from hydro, wind, or solar energy. While is the IC engine provide from oil and petrol companies, which people don't like because they are pulling out from the soil which is not good. Okay, and as you know, some battery car don't do, but currently as I speak, some cars now are able to do even a lots of kilometer. It's almost similar to the IC cars, and IC cars, more the tank, more it will go in kilometer. You know that. So the technology is improving for batteries. Okay, you can see battery take a longer longer to charge, and battery technology is improving, charging time is improving, but refilling obviously take only maximum 10 minutes, we can say. However, the important thing is the cost. Also, you can see the cost per kilometer is much less than the petrol, maybe 6 times cheaper than the fuel. Okay, and this is a double green product, we can say. So why do I call this double green product? Is anyone know? Is anyone have idea? Well, firstly, there is a car solar powered EV charger. There is a two things together: solar power and EV charger. So we are making our environment more green with the help of that product, double green product. There is no permit required to set it up because it is independent to utility. Okay, and obviously it's open source, so no monthly bill payments there. Also, so basically now the EV chargers not can only charge by solar, but it could also charged by generators. And generators, we would say we preferred obviously gas fired generators, because gas fired are much cheaper, more greener than the diesel generators, we can say that. Also the you can see in that image EV chargers powered by the natural gas generator sets there. Then these are some optional configuration. um, in this slide I can talk different types of charging can be there. You can see in first there is a split type, where there is a charger and there is a generator, both are separated here. And in next one, all in one type, you can see there is a generator and charger, both are integrated. And also there is a mobile type. mm, uh, can Mobile charger which can go here. I guess many people will have such options available. For example, when cars are flat on road, maybe they need a mobile charger. Come and charge it and take it away. And here are some of the applications you can see on screen. It's widely used in power shortage areas or large load centers, etc. Then there is a three ways of charging your electric vehicle. Uh, Basically, there is a conductive means wired charger, inductive means wireless charger, and also swapping the batteries. I will explain swapping batteries in next slide. Okay, so you can see here there is a conductive charging and inductive charging. In conductive charging, we charge a electric vehicle with the help of the cable connection, and in inductive charging, we don't need a cable connections for that. Uh, okay, so in conductive charging, current in wired cable is used to couple electric vehicle charging device and electric vehicle. And in inductive, we require the electromagnetic waves are used to couple the your electric vehicle charging device and electric vehicle. Also, but in conductive charging will be fast, and here charging is slow. And also the conductive charging is less expensive than the inductive charging. Also, the efficiency of the inductive charging is less than the conductive charging, because there is some, I already talk about that, there is some gap between the transmitter and receiver. And next is the battery swapping. You can see in that picture. So battery swapping is another method that becoming a popular. And then what is battery swapping means? It means if your car battery is flat, then you need a service station where they can replace the battery. And there you get very quick charge. Hello. uh, uh, can you please mute your mic? uh, Regarding battery swapping, okay, but obviously this will come with cost, because someone is doing job for you. It's not that you are doing charging at yourself. Battery swapping means you always getting refresh or another battery. It could be a ongoing charge, maybe more expensive than simply having your own battery and charge. So it's more like you are renting the battery, that battery swapping method. Okay, so the advantage is the battery is rented and battery is looked after by professionals. So you may not get any battery issues while you are driving until it's flat. But however, this will come with some cost, because someone is maintaining the battery. Yes, you don't pay for the battery initially. You are hiring the battery, but there will be some cost for battery. So I will show you in this video that how that battery swapping will work. Okay. Then next is case study. Here is Mr. Bobby will explain you regarding case study in Australia. Now it's up to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you for your presentation so far. It was very informative, and there's a lot of things you have covered about EV and EV charger. What I'll do here now is talk about this case study. The screen is still shared by Samuel. So as you can see here, there's a case study we did in Australia for a service station, whereby we were looking at putting a 60 kilowatt high power EV charger at their site. So what is some of the things that we have to look at is it's not easy, okay? It's not just you can put a charger, especially when we put a charger at a service station, it has to be a fast charger. Now, as Samuel has been explaining about different types of charger, obviously the fast charger is needs more energy, more power, and therefore your electrical power supply at the connection point must be able to supply that power. Otherwise, your somewhere the fuse might blow or the circuit breaker will trip. So how we do that in Australia is pretty much a feasibility study is done. Okay, we have to go and look at where you want to install, and we at iEngineering Australia, we are an ESP level 3. I think we covered that in the first webinar about what we do in detail. So because we have got access to utility network, we can pretty much investigate that for feasibility study. So what we do is we look at the GIS. On the left corner, you can see there's a GIS picture extracted there. And on the right side, the same thing is represented in a, in AutoCAD extract. So where the square box is basically where the service station is, and where the red circle is where the transformer is, we have identified. So what we do, we can look at the current loading of the transformer. Now, when a client will do an application, say I want to put a load at this point, the utility will do a quick check. They'll do a desktop study and say whether they have enough capacity to supply. If they don't, then we have got more work to do, okay? But if they have, then it is good. So in the worst case scenario, let's say if you don't have capacity, that means you may have to upgrade the transformer, and who knows, you may also have to upgrade the LV conductor coming to the supply point on the site. So that becomes a pretty much utility design work, which can be done by companies like iEngineering, who are authorized to work on the HV network. And then it's not only design. Then you have to go and do the installation, which we call level 1 work here, construction work. And then that's a bit of a cost, okay, to do that. So changing transformer, changing conductors, cables, whatever, whether it's overhead, whether it's underground, whichever way, it's still going to cost client money because he wants to put a fast charger, okay? Now, remember, fast charger can go up to 350 kilowatts, 400 kilowatts. So it's quite quite big. And some transformers on the pole or on the or kiosks or on the ground transformer, ground mounted transformer, the sizes are only 500 kilowatts. And already there might be 80, 90, 100% loaded. So there's a lot of cost to do that. But in this particular case study we did, the client was lucky. In other words, the study showed that the transformer was not fully loaded. It had capacity to supply 60 kilowatt, and the conductor did not need to be upgraded. So, so what we figured out that it is pretty much on-site work only has to be done, not on the utility side, but from the meter and to the client side, which only required some modification. Samuel, if you can go to the next page.
Yep.
So pretty much in this page here, you can see there's a switchboard on the right-hand side, and that's what they are supplying, the current load at the service station. And what we did a maximum demand. We checked the switchboard and we made sure the load, whatever the current circuit breakers and everything is, whether it can support the extra load. All we found out that everything looked possible. We could very easily put another 100 amp circuit breaker, 3-phase, and supply to the 60 kilowatt EV charger, which you can see on the bottom left-hand side where the charger is located near the white car standing there. And pretty much that's where the charger would be. And on the bottom right-hand side, you can see a red box where the switchboard is located, and green where the car, or basically the EV charger, will be located. So we did this and we did all the exercise. We did a costing. Probably we're looking at around not doing the utility type of upgrade because that was not required. Supplying the chargers, doing all the installation work, doing some foundation work, running the cable, including all the labor, everything. Client was looking at around, approximately 40,000 Australian dollars. Roughly in Indian, I would say it's about 20 lakh INR. And that's probably the cost to get it done. Obviously, there is benefit. As you can see, people are moving towards electric vehicles. People will need a quick charge, to come and charge and keep going. Okay, so these are some of the work that's going to happen not only in Australia, but it's going to happen everywhere. Okay. Yeah. So Samuel, can you go to the next page? All right. So here are some of the installation. You can see how the charger is sitting on a concrete base. Now that concrete base has got underneath, it has got some conduits run. Before you pour the concrete, you have to run the conduits so that you can run the cables to the charger easily. Okay, pretty much you connect the supply and that's it. You have to commission it, of course. Okay, so there are various installations you can see in this picture. Okay, in this slide, we can see you can also have something called portable chargers, which is basically you can carry with you in case if you are traveling to a place where you don't have a charger, you may not find, who knows, you're going to stay at a hotel or somewhere, I don't know. And you can take this with you, plug it to an AC outlet and charge your car. Okay. So these are all these different types of options available. Okay. So what is the future and what are some of the some sort of scope we can see in India now? We have been following Indian market very closely recently, as like Samuel has mentioned. We do represent electric vehicle, charging station. India is far behind, if you compare to other countries. Even Australia is now fast tracking to get EV chargers installed everywhere. Councils are doing that. So India has got a lot of potential. There'll be a lot of work coming in this area. So for the students, it's very important to know this. Okay, in next 10 years, there's lots of work coming up. right? So installing, if electric vehicles are available, you have to install chargers for them. Yeah. Of course, at home, you're using AC charger, small charger. You probably don't need much work to do. It's just like, charging a laptop, but obviously that will take longer to charge. But in public places, it will be fast chargers. So there's a lot of work coming in India, I must say that. Second is lots of development is happening. New infrastructures are getting built in India. India is becoming modern every day. Obviously, as they're doing this, they are including the idea of putting a EV charger somewhere, around the car park or somewhere, okay? Also, I think lots and lots of awareness is getting created also to people, either by the government or someone, even by the universities probably. They're telling them why we should go to EV charger. And I think Samuel has already explained many reasons why we should be looking at electric vehicles. One thing I also know that in India, there's lots and lots of like three-wheelers or auto rickshaws, two-wheelers, okay? They are all going to be changing soon. I think it has been made, announcement has been made by the National Institute for Transforming India. I think that's a government body in Indian government body, which has proposed to completely change, all the two-wheelers and three-wheelers from 2023 to electric, and that's a big call, okay? And even for the two-wheelers, which are 150 cc's by 2025, they want them to become electric. Anything less than 150 cc. So there's a lot of work which is going to happen on the smaller vehicles, let's say, and then surely more work will come for, like four-wheelers. Okay, so lots and lots of work is coming in India, and as most of the car manufacturers have made an announcement already that they will stop making IC engine cars from 2030, and after that, you can only buy electric vehicles. In India already, in Australia, electric buses, for example, no bus companies can buy any diesel, or IC engine buses. They must buy electric buses now. So that's becoming a must here, and same will happen in India very soon. Okay. So that's it from my side, I think. Thank you very much, everyone. If you have any questions, Samuel and myself, we can probably answer your question. Is there any question on the chat box, Pooja, to answer?
No, there aren't any questions. Anybody who wants to ask any questions, please put it in the chat box. Or you can just raise your hands and even ask the questions. That won't be a problem. Okay, I don't think so. We have got any questions. The feedback link, I have sent the feedback link in the feedback box, in the chat box. You can fill the feedback link for your certificate.
Okay, Pooja, thank you very much.
Shastri sir would like to say a few words. Shastri sir. Shastri sir.
Hello.
Hello.
It's a great pleasure, and it is a knowledge feast for our electrical engineering students of Shreyash College and other colleges who have attended this webinar and all that. And I'm especially thankful to Durgeshan sir, who has given his valuable time, his contribution, support for our boys to go with the new future And the e-vehicles is the spiritual solution for the sustainability of the world in future. And that also you have covered in your webinar series. And also
Hello. We are not able
Yes,
to hear
Pooja,
you, sir. I guess we lost him. We are not
I
able to hear him.
think so.
Oh, we'll just wait for another 30 seconds. If he doesn't,
this
we are not able to hear.
I once again very much thankful for the I Engineering Dynamic Group, today's presenter Shamal, and with this I hope that we will be in touch in future, and we will collaborate, and also the softwares which are required for our institute, for which I will be giving you the request so that you can quote the most competitive rate so that we can buy the softwares for the transmission, for the distribution, for the power flow studies and design of the substations and all these things. And we will also give the HR support required for your expansions in your business. And with this, I once again thank you very much to the team, and also a special thanks to Pooja who has arranged all these things since last 1.5 months that we are enjoying this webinar. And it's a very great pleasure for me that we are up to dating our students, we are up to dating our uh, knowledge sharing, and maintaining the proper connectivity with the sustainability, energy security, and the energy parity. With this, I thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. It's our pleasure to help the students, the university. We will always help them whichever way they can, we can do it. So we look forward, maybe next year, we'll look at doing more webinars, if we
Definitely.
can, yeah, if we can coordinate. And if there is any need, obviously we are here to help you with the software, like you said. All right. And obviously we are always looking for students who would like to, work with us. Okay. So that's good. It's a good collaboration. And I thank you, everyone, for participating and giving I Engineering an opportunity to do this presentation to all the students. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today. So with this, I conclude our webinar series. So we'll try and organize many such series for you.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Pooja. Thank
Thank
you,
you
everyone.
so much. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye bye.
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 रेकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप कराल का सर? सर
Yes. Yes. Anything?